Welcome to another episode of We'll Fix It in Post.
Old ass
That's
movie.
that
Was that supposed to be me?
that was no. I wasn't throwing it to you. I was
Oh,
doing a dramatic pause.
well, it wasn't good.
Let's start from the top.
Okay.
Welcome to another episode of We'll Fix It in Post. That's movie reviews. I'm your host, Don Vega.
I'm Joe Sonnenblick over here.
You need to get away from the mic.
I'm Joe Sonnenblick over here.
You're gotta get it out your mouth.
Hold on.
Right.
Did I even... I don't think I put the volume up on this thing. I don't know where the volume is on this thing.
I don't think it has
many
buttons, man. It doesn't. It's very expensive microphone.
It's not. Oh, it's $10.
You should have spent more money on it.
No. What money? I'm going to get a chicken after this.
I have a road mic in front of me, and you have a Canal Street recorder.
I have a Pell Street microphone.
What's that? Made by VTech.
I don't even think it's like Artec. What's that in Chinatown? What's that? It's not Pell Street. It's called like, it's in that area, but it's like a peninsula. You know what I'm talking about? It's like that one street that's like
Forsyth.
No, it's not even called street. It's like whatever.
No fucking
whatever.
I haven't been circle thing that goes over there under the Manhattan Bridge.
No,
no,
it's in Chinatown. This thing. It's like
Manhattan Bridge is in Chinatown.
Landing, or what? You never been to Chinatown?
No, I said Manhattan Bridge is in Chinatown.
No, I know, but I say it's in the middle of Chinatown.
I don't know, man. What's your point?
There isn't one.
Okay.
There's no point to any of
this. This week we have watched and reviewing now. Currently, we're in the review. We're reviewing.
It's his Freaks. Tod Browning's Freaks from 1932.
Freaks, 1932.
Yeah, I've seen this a few times in my life.
And once again, it's one of those movies where I think this is the first time I actually stood up for the whole thing. This is a movie. I know, but I've been watching this since I was a kid. This is something that I've definitely watched with my grandmother a million times. She was super into sci-fi horror, and that's like we would hang out late at night and watch this stuff on the big screen.
Yeah, I always watch this with my dad.
Yeah,
and it was always on like that week of Halloween, and it was always either on Turner Classic Movies or AMC or Bravo or one of those. When Bravo was actually a really good channel for things.
Yep.
And AMC was a good channel for things. TCM's still a good channel.
So just a little bit of 1932, what was going on there. The United States presidential election, Democratic governor of New York, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, defeats Republican President Herbert Hoover in a landslide victory. And then a big-ass hurricane came through and killed about 2,500 people in Santa Cruz del Sur, and the worst natural disaster in Cuban history. What else happened?
This is your part. I don't know.
And other things.
Wow.
What war was happening in 1932? Japan began its World War II offensive in 1931, attacking Manchuria in northern China, then Chapay in northern Shanghai in January of 1932. In 1932, Adolf Hitler gained power as his Nazi party became the largest in Germany. Big year.
Yeah. 33 was the big year for Hitler. 32 was he had just come off the beer hall putsch, which I think was, I could be wrong, but I think was 1928, where he seized control of the Nazi party. And before Hitler, the Nazis were like, hey, we're good people. They're all right.
Well, May 1932, Al Capone entered federal prison in Atlanta to begin serving his 11-year sentence for tax evasion,
where he got syphilis and died, I think, in 39 or 40. And there was a very bad movie with Tom Hardy called Capone, where he's just shitting himself. It's a whole movie.
That was a weird movie.
Did you think you saw it, right? The
I
whole
liked it, but I was like,
you liked it?
I feel like I learned nothing. I was like, okay,
You liked it?
so he's crazy. Got it. I
Oh
mean, it's Tom
God!
Hardy. Tom Hardy did a great
No,
job.
but
The
even
movie
like
was bad,
it
but
was
he did a
like
good job.
so the guy who directed it, his name is Joshua Trank, and he just made music videos.
Yeah,
And this, like
that makes sense.
it just looked like somebody did too much coke one night and was like, Al Capone. That'd be an interesting thing to do. And then Tom Hardy shows up and he's talking like this. That's the whole movie.
Yeah. In 1932, Polaroid photography was invented by Edwin Herbert Land. The zoom lens and the light meter were also invented in 1932.
Thanks, Edwin. Now you got a bunch of fucking white gentrifiers taking pictures of me on Bedford Avenue.
Nobody's taking pictures of you.
Please take a picture of me.
They're putting you on the watch list.
Again?
Yeah, it's a new list every year. You got to re-up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There was
It's
other
like
things.
it's like
32
Forbes.
was probably the worst year of the Depression.
Yeah.
As it says, it was reaching 25% unemployment rate. Yada yada yada.
Well, that's why Roosevelt was nominated, because Hoover had all these. Well, didn't have, but people that lost their whole life were living in shanty shacks called Hoovervilles.
Yep.
So that's real. You want me to start now, or what do you want to do?
White people.
White people.
That's why it was outrageous, because white people were broke now.
Everybody was broke.
But we were broke already. There
Yes.
was nothing yet. Like, come on, be
Yes,
for
you were.
Yeah.
All right. So, the synopsis of Freaks from IMDb, which this is an okay synopsis. This one you got.
Yeah.
A circus's beautiful trapeze artist agrees to marry the leader of sideshow performers, but his deformed friends discover she is only marrying him for his inheritance. That is the movie.
That is the movie.
You've got it, IMDb.
Yeah.
You got one right.
That's the movie.
That's the one. So we'll do some trivia on Freaks. The on-screen romance between Hans and Frida was very subdued because the roles are being played by real-life brother and sister Harry Earls and Daisy Earls. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, after I looked it up, I didn't know it, but I looked it up. They were fucking amazing. They were the best part of this movie. Best part of this fucking movie was those two.
So good. According
to a whole movie with them.
Yeah. Well, you did essentially.
I mean, more.
Give me more.
Yeah.
According to Johnny Eck, the sideshow performers started going Hollywood during filming. Several of them began wearing sunglasses in public, and some demanded special treatment on the set. And they also argued who was the most important freak to the film. That's awesome.
I'm not buying that, but okay.
Well, Johnny Eck was a freak. He was the torso guy.
Yeah, I'm not buying that they would just started acting a fool all of a sudden, because the things that I've read, they weren't even allowed on the damn studio lot. They had a whole different tent outside of the MGM studios for them to be. They only had acceptable freaks like the Siamese twins and a couple of the other ones, but like the small people probably were allowed on the lot. But the half torso guy, I don't think he was one of them. Definitely not the guy, the black dude without any of the arms and legs. Prince Randian, he wasn't allowed on the fucking lot.
That was so awesome.
That's awesome. Lighting the cigarette thing.
Well, we'll get into that because there's more about that. Tod Browning's career never recovered from the disastrous initial release of Freaks. From then on, MGM put him on a tight creative leash. Of his subsequent films, only The Devil Doll, which is awesome, by the way, has some of the spirit of his earlier work, but it is marred by a compromised script and a weak ending. Browning retired in 1939 and spent the rest of his life in seclusion. Which is crazy, because this film's fucking awesome. So this.
How did this film do when it came out?
Poor.
Really?
Like, destroyed.
Wow.
Well, because, it's fucking freaky, fucked up at the time. I mean, you got to, in this lens right now that we're watching this in, this is not crazy.
No, these are just people with different abilities, disabilities, or whatever.
In 1932, this is crazy.
This is fucking nuts.
This is what the fuck. But you have to think, this guy directed Frankenstein. He directed
Mm.
Dracula. He did The Unholy Three, which if you want to see another Harry Earls performance, that's amazing. The Unholy Three. That movie's fucking awesome. Yeah. But at the time to do this, it's a big set of balls he's putting out there. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's insane.
It was, and at no point do I feel. I mean, obviously, the tone of the movie was the two quote unquote regular people that were taking advantage of the freaks, or
Right.
speaking ill of them. But at no point in the movie did I feel as though the freaks were being exploited. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They were just regular ass people.
Tod
They were just
Browning.
on the camera.
Tod Browning, another piece of trivia I read, which I guess I should have put in there. Tod Browning used to take all of them to the commissary
Mm-hmm.
to sit and eat and be treated like normal people. He used to go out to drink with them. He didn't care. Tod Browning was very ahead of his time in that he didn't give, like, with Dracula, Bela Lugosi was not liked because he was Romanian or something. I think he was Romanian.
A lot of
He
people don't
was,
like those
or
Romanians.
Hungarian, one of the two.
Mm.
He was not liked, and Tod Browning said, "Fuck that shit. You're an actor. You're in this with me. We're going where we're going." Tod Browning was always good about that stuff, and that's just that's whatever, Hollywood doing whatever they do. A woman who attended the 1932 test screening for the film claimed that she later suffered a miscarriage resulting from the film's shocking nature and threatened to sue MGM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't that punch to the gut by your husband, was it, lady? Come on. You know they were punching each other in the guts.
Moving on.
Based on Todd Robbins' story, Spurs. So we'll do the cast. Directors Tod Browning. Frozzo was Wallace Ford, Frozzo the Clown. Venus was Layla Himes. Cleopatra was Olga Baklanova.
Yeah.
Hans was Harry Earls. Hercules was Henry Victor. Frida was Daisy Earls. Torso Man was Johnny Eck. Half Man was Prince Randian. Slitsy.
No. Half Boy was Johnny Eck. The living torso was Prince Randian.
Sorry, got that mixed up.
Yeah.
Got that mixed up. Slitsy was Pinhead. I don't want to call him a pinhead, but that's what he was. He was a pinhead. I think that's it. I think those are the main ones. Did I miss
Those are
anybody?
pretty much the main
Angelo.
ones. They were like
There was
three
Angelo, the
three
little
other
person.
pinheads. Right. There was the bearded lady,
Yeah.
Jane Barnell.
Well, and also just to
I don't know who that is. And also, you said Angelo. Do you know
Angelo.
what other things Angelo was in?
I've seen him somewhere. I didn't really look up anybody other.
This is a young character, somebody we've seen in other things. He was the small guy in goddamn Mad Max, the one that was on top of the
Oh,
yeah, that's him.
Okay.
He's actually a quite a
prolific
small actor.
Okay.
Small guy actor. He's been around. Yeah. He was in Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome.
It's a good one. That's the best one, in my opinion. What was I forgot what I was going to say.
And a bunch of other horror things, basically. It says The Corpse Vanishes, 1942, Brain of Blood, 1971, Scared to Death, 47, Child Bride, 38, Dracula versus Frankenstein, 71, Blood of Ghastly Horror, 71. Yeah. He died in 1991.
Yeah, so I looked up a lot of their death dates. A lot of these little people live to be 80 and over.
Yeah.
And even Schlitzie lived to be 72, I believe.
Right.
So it's pretty interesting that their diseases didn't take them out early.
You know which character I found to be quite interesting? Had a lot of screen time too, especially from the beginning. And I think it's such an interesting reflection of current times would be Josephine Joseph, who played half woman, half man.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty interesting stuff.
I definitely have some things about that.
Yeah.
Definitely have some things about that in the film's the overview, which we'll start with now. And we don't need to do a recast for this, right? Because how are you going to recast this?
No, I don't think
I
you
can't
can.
recast it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm sorry. Every actor would be played by Peter Dinklage. Every
Hmm.
character. How about that? Because I don't know. Do you know any other small actors? I'm
Yeah.
asking you.
If I see him, sure, I know their face.
Well,
But
that's
Peter Dinklage
enough.
is pretty much the only one that comes to mind.
Yeah,
But it's like
Warwick
it's not even that. It's like these people had very specific things going on,
diseases.
and these were real people. So like to go ahead
Does,
and recast them with actors and do CGI,
are there
probably
even
not
freak
great.
shows anymore?
No, I think
They
the
can't be,
last
right?
bastion of that was
Coney
probably
Island.
Coney Island. Yeah.
And that's not even freak. Like, it's just somebody swallowing a sword and spitting out fire and shit.
Or putting
And
nails in their fucking nose and shit.
that's just New Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the film opens with a carnival barker letting you know about the freaks. Their code is a law unto themselves. Offend one and you offend them all. That will
Yep.
be prevalent throughout the whole film. That is
Yeah.
the film,
Yeah.
essentially. And we sort of do a Goodfellas freak by freak now. Now we have a little, here's everybody. Harry Earls is in love with the trapeze artist. Frida's jealous. Harry and his sister, German Jews in real life, who did escape, they saw what was coming and they got out. Most big people have always laughed at Hans. The tension between Layla and everyone will be set up very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an hour film, so I get it. Don't you think it's a little too quick?
No, I think it ends quite abruptly, but it all
Well, we're not there
goes into
yet.
each other. It all kind of goes. It doesn't
We're not at
feel
the
rushed.
ending. No said
It
about
doesn't.
the ending.
Nothing.
What the fuck?
It doesn't. It doesn't feel rushed at all. It's just when it ends, it ends. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, we meet the human torso, we meet the half-man Johnny Eck, and we meet the pinheads. The madam explains these are her children and not monsters. She lets them play in the sunshine. She tells the freaks God looks after all his children, which is a prevalent theme in all of Tod Browning's films. Every film that Tod Browning makes, from The Unholy Three up to The Devil Doll, Frankenstein, Dracula, it's the people on the fringes of society, the outcasts, the monsters, if you will. The Unholy Three is probably Tod Browning's best film, with Boris Karloff and Harry Earls. Really awesome. Have you ever seen The Unholy Three?
No,
Oh, you
maybe
have to.
it's very possible. Like I said, I watched a shit ton of old school horror movies,
Yeah,
monster movies with my grandmother,
if
so it's very possible.
if you haven't, you really should. It's one of the best films of the 20s, I think. Josephine Joseph, half man, half woman. There you are.
Yeah,
Right there. Boom
there's a
pow.
lot of he/she's being thrown around, and
Lot of it.
there was a lot of I'd flirt with her, but he wouldn't like it.
Yeah. And then Hercules punches him, her,
Yeah.
him.
Did Hercules punch them on the male side of
Yes.
themselves? Wow.
Yes. Which Tod Browning knows what he's doing.
Interesting.
Becomes clear that Hans is being used for the money very early.
Mm-hmm.
Hercules is the brute / dickhead of the circus. Nobody likes
Mm-hmm.
him. Calls Cleopatra an ungrateful tramp. Not Cleopatra, I'm sorry. Layla calls Layla an ungrateful tramp. Layla is telling Frozo the clown to laugh, and he keeps a straight face that entire scene, which is really cool. And there's this really strong, 30s talk between Frozo and Layla after she breaks up with Hercules.
Yeah.
You should have caught me before my operation. I don't know what that line means. Do you think his dick don't work? You should have caught me before my operation. What that line, I never thought of that line before. And I gotta say, I was a little high last night, and I'm watching it, and I'm go, what is that fucking, what does that mean?
I have no idea what that means because I'm thinking like, all right,
Is he not? Does he not have a dick anymore?
there was no war going on. I mean, it was
Well, it could
ramping
be
up, like
World
we
War
said.
One.
Maybe yeah. That's the only thing.
Could
Like anytime there was
be.
medical stuff, or I
Uh,
just assume it had to do with war, and they were fucked up. Maybe did he walk with a limp
yeah.
or anything like that? I don't think I noticed that.
I didn't see anything. I
Hmm.
didn't. Nothing that would make me go, that guy's cock don't work no more. Because that isn't that the what he's trying to get at? It has to be, right? You should have caught me before my operation.
I
What
couldn't even tell you,
operation?
man. I don't know. That's definitely a plot hole.
Yeah. Because they're kissing each other pretty quick, right?
Hmm.
And then they're not really. I mean, in the 30s, there wasn't really a lot of fucking you could put on the screen, I guess. But even the idea of it is never brought up, except until he says, "You have a great figure, and I wish you would have caught me before my operation." I don't know what it means. But like I said, that conversation between Frozo and Layla, really strong 30s vibe.
Yeah.
Like maybe the strongest I've seen on film.
Hmm.
I had no idea what he was saying. I was so fucking, I mean, I caught the gist of it, of course, but it's like, damn, this is really strong. You gotta be, it's like trying to watch a Scottish comedy. What the fuck are you talking about? Siamese twins make their first appearance, and they're funny.
Yeah.
They're very, and Roscoe might be my favorite character in this whole film.
Is that the one that stutters?
Yeah, he's so good.
Who came first, him or Porky the Pig?
I don't have that information.
I
I mean, you want to get who came first, Roscoe or Porky the Pig? I got to assume Roscoe, but maybe not. Maybe not that long.
Let's see. Porky the Pig origin.
Porky the
Porky
Pig.
Pig. He came out in
35.
Well, there you go. Clearly,
Could be.
that is who. Because I was like, there's no way that they're doing the stuttering thing. He's trying to say a word, and then he changes the last word. That's a Porky Pig clearly got that from him.
Also, typing P in on your phone for the first letter immediately goes to Pornhub. You have that problem?
No.
You should.
Mm.
Good sight gags during the Siamese twins. One sister has to leave, and Roscoe blames it on the other half, saying that it's always an alibi that you have to leave. So then you get a little sexual innuendo that I caught between Hercules and Cleopatra, where she says, "Do you like eating something?" He says, "Always." She says, "How do you like them?" And he says, "Not bad." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pussy and tits.
Yeah.
Hercules hits the half man, half woman in the man half,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was excellent choice by Tod Browning. Really, I mean, it's not funny, but it's a choice that works. You know you don't know what I mean. If you're gonna hit the half man, half woman, you hit him in the man half.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
He's just using this as a springboard for, I don't know. He's got a file on me. He does. He's got a file on me.
That's a fact.
He's like J. Edgar Hoover. I always find it interesting how the main focal point of horror films in the 30s is the European woman who isn't attractive at all.
Well, that's a story as old as time.
No, but can't you find an attractive one?
Nope.
And then I wrote, a lot of this film is male rebellion and the want not to be a freak in their own relationship. Everybody's relationship in this film, whether it be Frozo and Layla, whether it be Harry and Frida, whether it be Hercules and Cleopatra, Roscoe and, I forget the Siamese twin's name, but Siamese twin, they are grappling for power in their own relationships.
Yeah.
So the
It's
freaks are the
and you
men.
yeah, and you got to recall also that freaks are at the bottom of the totem pole in the circus because
Yeah,
carnies were looked down upon also. Those were not like the people that regular society respected. Nobody
right.
respected circus folk. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
no.
They were already looked at as freaks. It just so happens that the freaks had actual physical ailments or differences.
Yes. I write, goddamn Frida is unbelievable in this. She's probably better than Harry Earls in this. But I think they're both I don't know where they learned how to act, but they should have been in much more.
Yeah, I mean, they were super dope, very dramatic.
Yeah.
Especially the sister. Yeah, that was just phenomenal shit she had going on. I was
Um
taken aback.
yeah. Harry Earls gets upset at the boys making fun of him. Cleopatra is overtly sexual in her advances towards Hans when she is just making fun of him. Um a lot of and there's a lot of clearly homosexual in tone bits
Mm,
throughout this film.
yeah,
Um suggesting that well, I think Tod Browning was gay. I am not 100% on that, but I'm pretty positive. There was some.
pretty,
Well, unless I'm thinking of
pretty.
James Whale. I'm sorry, James Whale directed Frankenstein, not Tod Browning. I have
Mm.
to. Uh, Tod Browning was not gay. James Whale was.
Well, I didn't say it. You did.
I said it.
You gotta convince me.
But
Um,
there were a lot of like very homosexual in nature bits throughout, like sight gags throughout this film. Um, bearded lady has a bearded baby.
yeah, that's what they said. And that baby's gonna have a beard.
That the lady with no arms pulls the sheet back with her feet.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah,
Um, I'm not going to have my wife laying in bed half the day with your hangover, Roscoe says about the Siamese twin. Very good line. She don't know us, but she'll find out. That's the turning point.
yeah.
That line is the turning point. So Prince Randian actually rolled that cigarette, the
Hmm.
whole cigarette, and Browning cut the scene short. Still great though.
Well, it seems like it would have took quite a while to
You
watch. I'm
make
quite
that
sure.
motherfucker.
What are you gonna
Let's
do?
do it.
Speed it up? It'll look weird.
No, no. Come on, we got time. Where are we going? That would have probably been the best scene in the whole film. To watch him roll the whole cigarette.
Hmm.
I would have loved that. Schlitzie was a man. He wore a dress and a diaper because of his erratic bowel movements. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Schlitzie also inspired a few characters in American Horror Story, and also inspired a main well, not a main, an NPC in Red Dead Redemption 2. That character was I don't want to say scary because that's the wrong word to use because it's probably offensive. But as a kid watching that was the character I was most afraid of. Would you say that?
I would.
Because you're not gonna be afraid of somebody with no
It's a
lower
thing
half.
where they look so extremely different. So yeah, as a kid, I could see how that would be alarming for a child. Sure.
Yeah. Frozo says, I panic the world because I use my noodle. I make the world laugh. And I think that's a good mirror into today where comedians, clowns as they are they do still panic the world
Mm.
just by words. I mean, look what's happened with some of our favorite comedians.
Like
Dave Chappelle.
what happened to him? He made
He
millions of
had a little
dollars.
problem.
He didn't have any fucking problems.
He
He's
had
fine.
Don. He had a little problem. I'm not with me. I don't have a problem. He had a little problem though.
No, he never had a problem.
Well, he did. He did have a problem. Though.
He
He had
did.
to address the problem that he was having.
No, he had
He
to.
didn't.
He had.
I missed. Oh, I must have made it all up.
He exploited a problem that nobody told him he had and nobody asked his opinion about. That's what he did.
Well, he said what he said as a
Which nobody
comedian.
asked. Yeah, as a
But
comedian, free speech. That's your job. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you also have to go back 60 years,
Mm-hmm.
70 years. Lenny Bruce died
Mm-hmm.
for all this. He died so comedians could talk. They were
You can't
arresting him
talk.
for saying fuck and cunt and
You
cock.
could, and we're getting a little off base, but you could say whatever you want. But
There
you
are
got to understand
consequences.
there's always going to be consequences. And you
Right.
can't be shocked
But
or
the
dismayed.
consequences have changed.
No, they haven't.
Oh, yes, they have, Don. Yes, they have. It's crazy. And look, I'm not one of those. I don't like Joe Rogan. I don't like any of those fucking
Mm-hmm.
weirdos. They stink. But the consequences have changed. If I say boo and you say who wins?
That's a really dumb analogy.
No, it's
But
not. Think
I don't
about it.
understand what you're saying there. That is it. You just said boo and who.
Make a joke. You can
No.
lose your life for a joke now.
Who has? Who? The
Who?
only people that have been comedians that have gotten canceled because they did creepy shit off the stage. Louis C.K.
Oh, he's back.
Exactly. So where's the cancel culture there? No such thing. That's the whole point.
I mean,
There's no such thing. Bill
who among
Cosby
us?
went to jail for
Who
creep shit,
who
and now
among
he's out of
us?
jail. So where's the consequences exactly? Dave Chappelle said what he said, and then he still sold more tickets for the next couple specials.
You don't hear a lot
So
from
where's the
Dane Cook
consequences?
anymore.
Who the fuck cares?
You just don't.
Nobody
You
wants to.
just do not.
Nobody likes him.
All right. Frozo and Venus getting frisky in the bathtub. So, but still, he's got no cock. Violet making out with her new beau makes her sister horny, which is a very weird. That was very weird.
That's strange.
It was a little odd. That's one of the moments where I was like, I don't know about this.
I don't like this.
I don't, because
Next
then you have, because they clearly, these women, the Siamese twins, they fuck. They fuck. I'm getting into this now, Don.
Yeah.
They fuck. It's clear by their attitudes. They like to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So when Roscoe fucks one, the other one feels it. When this guy fucks one, the other one feels it.
Maybe.
No, it's got to be.
Don't actually know, man.
Yeah, you do. Don't play dumb with me, Don. You've explored this.
I don't want to.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Yeah.
But you're gonna.
More proud to him.
Yep. Frida, the sight gag between the Siamese twins and their respective beaux about "you should see us sometime" is very clever. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That was good.
Yes.
Frida confronts Hans. Frida says, "To me, you are a man, but to her, you're just something to laugh at." Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Hercules and Cleopatra are talking about getting rid of Hans. Frida enters and lets Cleopatra know not to hurt him, letting her know that she knows. Cleopatra hatches a scheme to poison Hans, which is not a scheme.
That's because also you got to remember that Cleopatra. So when Frida confronts Cleopatra, she lets the cat out the bag that Hans has a fortune. Cleopatra didn't know that at first.
Yeah.
She just was getting gifts from him and was stringing him along just for little bullshit gifts.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until he bought her a platinum necklace that the Hercules guy was like, "Yo, this is worth a couple G's. This guy, where's he getting his money from?" And then the next scene with the Frida confrontation is when she's like, "I know you're only using it for his fortune," and Cleopatra was like,
"Fortune."
Yeah.
I like how she said fortune. It was very funny. And then the scheme to poison Hans, just putting poison in a bottle. No real scheme here. Where'd she get that poison? She just had it laying around. You don't need
weird, man. Weird.
Gooble gobble. We will make you one of us. Still great. That whole loving cup scene, still great. And one of the premier scenes in horror still.
I mean, okay,
it's not scary though.
You know what's wild is like, I guess it's only in retrospect because I'm like, I don't see the horror in this until the end. Yeah, but otherwise it's like, where's the horror part?
Then you have Cuckoo doing her flapper dance, which is great. The sword swallower, fire eater. I have to say, was this much like your wedding reception this past week? Sword swallowers, fire eaters. Congratulations to Don and Nikki. The tight shot of Frida crying is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy good. Harry Earl's out here losing his mind. That's what I wrote for that. He's out here just laying dead. And then she screams, "Dirty, slimy freaks." That's going to come back to bite her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hercules picks up Hans and puts him on Cleopatra's shoulder. A half-hearted apology. Hans is poisoned. Hans has a great little speech before he faints. Very good little speech before he faints. About how he is a man, forgives her, and he faints really well. That faint, I mean, again, he doesn't have to really fall that far, but the fall he takes is very good.
Yeah,
it looks real. I mean, compare it to like a Jackie Gleason fall. Didn't look real.
Mm-hmm.
Venus confronts Hercules. The freaks, for the first time, are getting the idea that they will have to take matters into their own hands. It's time now.
Yeah.
It's time. Time to pay the piper. They sit out of their trailers or wagons front all day and night. Even Roscoe has turned his back on Hercules.
Yeah, and that was his homie.
Yep. Harry Earls has it all cooked up for her. And the way Harry Earls gets out of that bed, gangster as shit, all dressed, with his little shoes on, his little pants rolled up, just rolled up. The rain scene when Hercules tries to hightail it out of there and the freaks attack them is full of great dramatic exposition.
That part was scary as shit. Those scenes, it's just everybody's in the mud, in the rain.
Yeah.
Everybody has a fucking knife. Everybody has a knife. So even the dude that's just a human torso has a knife
in his teeth.
Prince Randy, yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote that every small person takes out a knife. Where does Johnny Eck get that gun from? Did it come out of his cavity, Don? It looked like a cavity snatch. Like he took it right out of there. What's in there?
Maybe that's what the surgery was about.
It's just Johnny Eck.
Wait, which one's Johnny Eck?
He's the half man. Torso.
Oh, yeah. Who knows?
Where'd that come from? It didn't come out of his jacket.
Yeah.
That guy's made of guns. Wagon crashes. Everyone scatters into the dark. The fight scene where
was crazy.
Where the
he got caught on fire.
Wait,
I was like, holy shit.
Give me that.
Set this guy on fire.
Give me that instead of Fast and the Furious 10 over here. That was great. And then a knife is thrown seemingly 100 yards.
That dwarf threw the fuck out of that knife.
Fuck, man. I wish Zach Wilson could throw a football like that knife. Holy shit. He got him right where he needed to get him, too.
Yeah.
And now I just wrote everybody has a knife now.
Yeah.
Everybody within 100 yards of everybody is just knifed up. They got the ox, and they are not afraid to use it. Now she's a chicken.
Yeah, that's the ending. So why the beginning of the movie opened with the ringleader.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Ringmaster. You don't want leader.
Ringmaster looking down into a petting zoo of sorts, showing the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And they explain the story of what the freak that you're looking at, how it came to pass. So at the end of the movie, it went back to that beginning scene.
Yeah.
And then it showed the Cleopatra as a mutilated, no arms, no legs, and they made her a chicken somehow.
Right. So I'm okay with the mutilation and all that. I get that.
They tarred and feathered her. That's all. That's what that means. They tarred and feathered her.
But it's not just feathers. She's a chicken.
Yeah, they made her a chicken. They sewed shit up to her. I'm sure it comes off. That act is pretty old. Half person, half bird thing. It's just a suit.
No. I know.
So they carved her up, and they put a chicken suit on her. You saying why a chicken?
Why a chicken?
Because half chicken. Because, man.
That's it?
That's it.
Because?
Because.
Mm.
Because.
Whoa. So Frozzo, Frida, and Venus come to tell Hans they forgive him. Hans is in like the mansion of mansions.
Yeah.
How does he reach those books?
He doesn't. He pays people to do it.
The film ends on the embrace of Hans and Frida, and I will agree with you. A very rushed ending. Like, I gotta go. And
we chopped her up. She's a chicken in the end.
And now they're back together. I gotta go.
Yeah, don't fuck with me.
Yeah. Freaks is great.
It was really, really good.
Freaks is great. I mean, it's funny because I thought it was longer. I really did think it was longer. An hour and 2 minutes.
That it wasn't. I was so relieved. You have no idea.
Well, you've got no attention span. You are.
I keep watching these movies like late at night. You know.
Well, I urge you, when we do The Shining next, you can't do that at night.
No.
It's 2 hours and like 35 minutes.
That's.
You know what The Shining is.
I should have put another criteria on the show of it being only short films of all time.
No. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5.
What takes away the last star?
It's not going to be better than Taxi Driver.
Well, you're not compared to the Taxi Driver. It's not even the same genre.
I think for what I just gave Freaks, because what did I give Nosferatu? I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Sure.
It's not groundbreaking. It doesn't break any ground on film.
I disagree. Sure, it does.
Well, we're just talking about
type of people on that film before.
I'm talking about film in maybe the filming itself. The story is an old story. It's not, and I think the people that did act in it, I don't want to say regular people. That's wrong. The non.
What word are you going to use, Joe?
The non-small people.
Oh,
the
was everybody people. Small?
Yeah, actually, pretty much. I mean, even everybody's pretty small comparatively.
I mean, when you don't have limbs, yeah, you're going to be smaller.
Okay, so that's the movie. They weren't very good actors.
I mean, they weren't actors. They were actual freak shows.
Wallace Lloyd's an actor.
Which one's Wallace Lloyd?
Frozzo.
Oh, the clown.
They weren't very good.
No, he wasn't.
Layla
great.
wasn't very good. I mean, that's not very good.
I was reading something that the two female leads was supposed to be somebody else. And once they found out what the script was and what was going to be going on, they said, "Fuck no." It was somebody pretty up there. Also, I forget.
1932. I bet it was like Thelma Todd or somebody like that.
Something like that.
You know.
Let me see if I have it here.
But you're not there aren't too many horror films that I'm going to give high ratings to. It just doesn't. I mean, everybody knows me and knows how I feel about The Shining, so you know what's coming for The Shining. We've never seen Jacob's Ladder, so I don't know what I'm going to feel about that. But Nosferatu, what I gave it was because of its ingenuity and originality and what it did for film. This ruined the guy's career. This didn't. I don't know.
It says Myrna Loy and Jean Harlow were originally considered to co-star in Freaks.
Wow.
Yeah. Myrna Loy,
the Thin Man,
who was then rising star, recently signed to an MGM contract. Yeah.
Thelma Todd died auspiciously.
The Man Who Laughs. Yeah. Well, sorry. That was what am I reading here?
You said
Thalberg.
Irving
Thalberg wanted Myrna Loy. Yeah.
And you said it was Myrna Loy and who?
And Jean Harlow.
Jean Harlow was married to a guy named Paul Berman, and Paul Berman killed himself by shooting himself in the head, and then Jean Harlow did herself in by parking the car in the garage and not turning it off on herself. In not too long after this, I believe.
So originally, Thalberg had to trim the movie. It was actually supposed to be an hour and a half. It was 90 minutes, and they cut it down to about 60. So talking about it felt like it was rushed because it was. Yeah. So like you said earlier, the whole rolling the cigarette scene was much longer. Shit like that.
I was wrong
Apparently,
about
there was an epilogue that there was supposed to be an epilogue sequence that they depicted a London museum opened by Madame Tetralini and replaced it with a framing device featuring a carnival barker who showed off the mutilated Cleopatra to a crowd. Yeah. So there was also supposed to be an epilogue which Venus and Froza the Clown bring Frida to Han's mansion for a reunion and reconciliation. So that got cut.
Okay.
It says the uncut version of Freaks still played at the film's world premiere at San Diego's Fox Theater on January 28th, and ironically, it ended up finding success there. The film set a house record during its run for the theater, which capitalized by advertising itself as the only place where audiences could ever see uncensored version of Freaks. Did you know that this film was banned?
Australia?
Nope. And where was it? It was banned in Britain.
Okay.
By British censors from 1932 to 1963.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. And I was wrong about Jean Harlow. It was Thelma Todd who did herself in with the carbon monoxide poisoning. Jean Harlow died from drinking and kidney failure as well. But she was married to Paul Byrne, who killed himself by shooting himself through the head. Yes. Hollywood in the 30s was wild.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy. How many black people in this film, Joe?
2. Prince Randian.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, there was, when they're doing the knife scene, there was a black man who wasn't Prince Randian, who I believe had dreadlocks.
You know what? The funny thing is, you're still wrong. But you're also right because, yes, I did see that person. They were never accredited for some reason. So I don't know who that person is, but I was like, that is definitely a black person with Fox.
Yep.
But technically 3 people. There was Prince Randian, the person in that scene that you just talked about, and let's see here, Louise Beavers.
Okay, where?
She was apparently a maid somewhere.
I saw no black maid.
She's in the cast. It's
I
right
would
here.
have pointed that out to you immediately.
I've been looking for it, and it says that she played a maid. I can't recall the scene.
I don't.
Like I said,
the only time there could have been a maid the only time there could have been a maid or a butler was
the
when,
very end.
Yeah, and he was a white guy.
Maybe in the long version.
Okay, well then that doesn't count because we only saw the short version. So I was right too. You gotta give me partial black credit.
Partial.
Thank you. I mean, also we're getting partial credit because they're small people.
You didn't have to.
I did. Low hanging fruit, and I picked it. All right, what'd you give Freaks?
I would. It's pretty near and dear to my heart. This movie, like I said, I saw a lot with my.
You got to take sentimentality out of it, don't you?
No, absolutely not. No.
Well, then what?
Did you take it out of it with fucking Taxi Driver? No.
Yeah, I actually did. It would have been a 5 out of 5.
Fuck out of here. It was a 4.5.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you should see Freaks.
I really fuck with the movie. It's dope. I do want to see the extended version if I can ever find it.
I would like this to be remade. It would have to be Rob Zombie. Somebody like that.
But to make it so, I think the beautiful part about it is that it's not actually a horror movie.
Right.
It's just depicted that way to like Rob Zombie, he's horror. He's not. He can't do nuances and subtlety. He's very over the top, gruesome, gore, and horror.
I still have to see his Munsters thing because I love the Munsters so much. I still have to see that.
I heard terrible things, but I
I
do
heard
want to see it.
terrible things about it. And
Yeah.
anything, and it goes back to my theory that anything rated PG or PG-13 is bad. That's just a theory I have. I mean, this probably would have been rated R. I would think.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
If there was,
If there was a
just
rating
because
system
of
at
the
the time, yeah.
content. But yeah, 4.5 out of 5. That wraps this one up. We'll be back sooner than you think with The Shining, and then we're gonna do Jacob's Ladder to wrap up Halloween. And we do understand that it is October 25th.
Whatever.
We don't. Time is a construct in our lives.
Yeah,
You
be
might
grateful.
live by a punch clock, but us, we don't give a shit about time. He's black, I'm white. Deal with it. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Folding this up.
Stopping the video.
Holding it up.